wrong with your television, do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are now controlling the transmission. We control the horizontal and the vertical. We can deluge you with 1,000 channels or expand one single image to crystal clarity and beyond. We can shape your vision to anything our imagination can conceive. We will control all that you see and hear.
Now that you're here with me, I want to.
Hey, greetings everyone. My name is Carl Smith, and I'm a member of the Readers' Right Commission. I have a letter here from Brent, and he asked me to read it to you. I'm going to do my best to put his feelings into this, which I'm sure you know is kind of hard to do. But I kind of get the gist of what he's trying to say. It begins with him saying, Al Green sang the song called Look What You Done to Me. For you, I'm going to sing Look What We've Done for You. In just 2.5 years, we reached 500,000 people without advertising or gimmicks, with only the truth. I saw a need to prove by demonstration what was being discussed and talked about in seminars and on the internet. So it started with a video explaining how one guy reached a conclusion for certain situations. Not just explaining it, but showing the history of how they got to that conclusion. One video led to two led to three. Now there are over 300 videos uploaded on the internet that are related to that one topic. On a side note, we learned that most of us could not sit and listen to anyone talk for 45 minutes to 2 hours, because in reality, we get glassy-eyed after just 5 minutes of conversation. That's another reason for those commercial breaks and why those breaks last so long. Anyway, back to the story. We know there was an audience made up of you who saw society broken, a society that made you feel like a pawn, trapped in a game where the rules were like a tightly kept secret in a secret society. We heard of the theories out there that many people were using, but we also heard of some of them getting in trouble for whatever reason, like misuse of the law, mailing to the wrong entity, greed. So I strongly felt that someone had to research and test those theories and their foundations. People started using what others said without doing their due diligence, and of course, this led to a lot of them getting in trouble. Although I constantly beseeched everyone to do their own homework, research what I said, many even started to blindly follow what I was doing without studying. They expected me to be their private tutor. Nope, that wasn't happening. That was not going to happen. How many people did I say were watching the videos and what I did? Yeah, think about it. Me tutoring 500,000 people. It's certainly not going to happen. I decided I had to prove what I was saying. So I sent a small item to the U.S. Treasury. $680 trillion in good old-fashioned credit. I did that 3 times and waited. I did this only after first doing intense research on the laws, acts, and procedures they had instituted for these processes. I was prepared to test the system, feeling secure enough to send them credit instruments that I could defend. You see, some people were saying this while others were saying that. But the problem was everybody was talking a good game. But there wasn't anyone actually demonstrating the processes. So I started showing by doing. What I was saying, Wells Fargo and Bank of America both negotiated our style money orders to the tune of $5 million. I had the proof. So I could say, here's a mortgage completely paid off. I negotiated one our style money order with Bank of America where they credited an account with $1 million. That account was mysteriously closed a few days later. Just imagine that. It was never about the money or having things. Not then, not now. I'm afraid people will not recognize the sacrifice. Now some do, and I'm grateful for them, but the majority just does not. I know people are saying, look, I told you he was going to get in trouble. They finally caught up with him, putting all that stuff out there for free. That's what he gets. Oh well, he's gone. They finally got rid of him. At first, my fear was no one would get it. I also worried about my image. Today, I'm worry-free as I played my role in this game. I have sung, danced, cried, yelled, whispered, and played music. But you didn't dance. You didn't weep. As the scriptures say, wisdom is proved right by all her children. That's Luke 7:31 through 35. Most people never make it a practice of being kind to strangers, but I always do, and did to over 500,000 of them. People seldom, sometimes never, practice giving of themselves, but I did to those I knew and those I didn't know. This system has caused people to want more, and then more. And as long as one wants more will never be enough. Many people wanted to give me money, but I always refused their offers. Why? It's simple. Money corrupts people, and I wanted to remain true to my core. This I feel I have accomplished. Yet I have many critics, none of whom I think would place themselves in harm's way as I've done here. If you hear any of them say, sure, I would have, ask them why had they not done it. They would have saved me the time, effort, and trouble. This may sound like I'm bitter, but I'm not. This is more about the increasing burden of 2.5 years of nonstop worry. So listen, because I'm one to travel my own road, I want you to know what I've done so many times before. Everywhere in the U.S. that I've lived, I gave everything, even money and people, wanted more. So I thought I would try somewhere different outside the U.S. When I moved to Puerto Rico, I said, surely these people would be different. Yeah, right. Stevie Wonder, Paul McCartney said it best on this single, Ebony and Ivory. People are the same wherever you go. Please tell me, where can one go to get away from greed, selfishness, hatred, gossip, nosy, getting all up in your business people? Look, as long as people can selfishly see only themselves in the mirror, they will always be selfish. If they never learn to look past their own reflections to see others standing next to them in that same mirror, we are a doomed race. I'll make this confession. I am a sucker for helping people in need. One young man had just arrived here at the prison, and he had nothing. So doing what I always do, I gave him some snacks. Before I continued the interaction in a prison, when it comes to sharing, there is no such thing. Before I continue the interaction in prison, when it comes to sharing, there is no such thing. When you do something for someone in prison and they accept, they owe you something in return, or even worse, they are owned by you. So of course he asked me, what do I owe you? I told him, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not an inmate, and you don't owe me anything. He said, thank you. And 10 minutes later, he caught himself, and he comes back and says, in the 7 years I've been down and out, that's the nicest thing anybody has ever done for me. I simply told him, that is who I am. I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and we must help our neighbors. You know, I'm proud of what I've been able to accomplish inside here, because I would never cheat at cards or dominoes, look at anybody else's cards, even if they were too busy to hold their hands close. I wouldn't look. I hate cheating. I would close my eyes, refuse to look. One guy said he never met a man like me. He told me, you're a good man. Excuse me? I said. Excuse me, I said to myself. He was 38 years old, never saw or met a man like me. What does that say about our society? So I've decided to give up, not on life, not on people, but thinking kindness could be contagious, and kindness would spread throughout the world. People are defective, it's a fact, that I had to see firsthand. I'm sorry to say, but most of the people in jail need to be there, and not on the streets. But why do these so-called authorities have to cheat, lie, and deceive? It makes no sense, I know. No, it's not greed. It's the power. Yeah, power. When I first came to Puerto Rico, I heard of a federal judge who was mistreating a young man. He wanted to represent himself. And because of that, she sent him to be psychologically evaluated. They said he would fail. I was hoping to run into that same judge, and although judge selection is supposed to be random, guess who's presiding in my cases? Random, but on what level? All the names in the hat were hers. She has given orders. Prosecution has filled responses, but they have yet to give me a single copy. Let us be clear on this. No, I do not need anybody filing or doing anything for me. I have been at this for over 20 years, and simply put, I got this. So from day one, I demanded a jury and a speedy trial, which is the best thing in the world to do. I said I will not waste my time with the court's time. They wanted to paint me as a sovereign America, and in law, sovereign Americans are terrorists. I said on the record, I'm not a sovereign America. But I'm glad they thought I was coming in arguing. I was coming in the argument of the all caps name, no real government, and so forth. They were on the road, they were on that road, and even ordered a psychiatric evaluation. But it's okay. I had one thing in my favor that others did not. Not only can I prove everything I said with website and videos full of proof, I understand due process.
No complaints.
The Fifth Amendment says one can't be tried without the process of law, without due process of law. So I raised 15 due process issues, including the clerk of the court failing to return subpoenas. The issue of interpreting law came up, so I'm calling the presiding judge of the court as my legal expert. He will be under oath, and if he can't appear, there are at least 10 other public servants qualified to be legal experts. Please understand that the stakes are high, but despite the fact, I do not like the stakes. But despite the fact that I do not like the stakes, it does not suit me. I came prepared. They think they had tied my hands, but a couple of weeks ago I flipped the script. I told them the presentment you received mentions this, so I'm asking the state to prove that. I'm getting away from all that sovereign movement, trust law stuff. Why? I said before, they have been watching our videos and have come up with strategy against it. So what I'm doing is taking All the mud, rocks, plaster, glue, carpet, books, words, toothpaste, kitchen sink, bathtub, and Cal Worthington's dog spot and throwing it at them. Then I'm simply walking up and saying, oh, that little napkin right there. No, right there. Between the toothpaste and the vacuum, yes, that. That's all I'm using. Oh, you came prepared to deal with all that? Oh no, that's just defensive strategies. I saw the psychiatrist once for the initial interview. That was 3.5 weeks ago. The court gave them 45 days to complete the evaluation, which was more than 50 days ago. I do believe the conversation with the psychiatrist was what caused the evaluation to be canceled. Anyway, the interview went something like this. I asked him, who are you? The psychiatrist said, oh, I'm a clinical psychiatrist for the evaluation that the court ordered for you. I asked him, I said, oh, they did? I did not receive a copy of the order. The psychiatrist said, well, Mr. Jones, I have a copy of it right here if you want to take a look at it. I said, sure, I'll take a look at it. Oh, so that's what they're doing. The trial was set for next week, and they are using this to extend the time. I knew they were going to do something, so that's why. Or that's how. Psychiatrist said, well, Mr. Jones, here's the order. And I just said, okay, I'll take a look. So she says she has raised serious concerns about what was mentioned in my presentment. That process is usually reserved for the prosecutors to motion for such. Yet she is so concerned that she felt she had to make the motion. I told him, okay, I'll go with this. We can do this, but only on the issues she raised here. Let's see. Yeah, I told him number 7, number 8, number 9. Okay, only these 9 issues. I will not discuss any other issues as the court says there is nothing else that raises concerns except what's here. Okay, I'll do this. Okay, getting back and letting you know my thoughts, I was thinking the psychiatrist is able to take these 4 pages and in less than a minute analyze them, pick out all the main points, and if he does that, he's good, and I know he's not. So I knew it's going to be hard proving my competency issues. Now, if she had said based on the way he did the intros to his videos or the way his videos are made, they might have something. But as it is, I will not waste my time. But it seems like he was analyzing me, sizing me up to see if I was even a challenge. No, not this time. At least that's what I would have said if I were in his shoes. Either way, I haven't seen or heard from him since. Oh, and they also had me in lockdown. So I told him I'm aware of the HIPPA, which is the Patients' Rights Act. I also knew that he could not do the evaluation where everybody else was present. The room we were in was doorless, so there was no privacy. So ladies and gentlemen, I got this bacon and cheese, and it's okay. I'm in this for the money, just kidding. I'm in this for the long haul. I have had plenty of time to think in here, which I've used to create 17 new short stories and plans to change the media as we know it. I have stepped down from the commission. I have, however, heard many of you express your good wishes, concerns, and thank you so very much. This was a big gamble and it has already paid off. I filed 16 of my credit items into the case. I want someone to say that it is fiction is money. So for those of you out there who say that the I-style money orders are illegal, whatever. The all caps argument works only if you can show it is based on tradition. So get the King James Version, the NIV or the ASV or the RSV version of the Bible. Look in the forward and look for the section on God's name. YHWH and JHVH. They will tell you that it is a long-standing tradition to replace the names above, which are without vowels, pronounce Yahweh and Jehovah in the Bible with Lord in all caps. There's your proof of its significance. Look, someone has to read this someone has to read this to all of you. So I will end it here and say to you again, I got this. Many of us are told we should know our place. In sports, it's called position. Many of you came on this ride with me from the beginning. Daniel, Kanechi, Terrence, Carlos, Arian, Faye, and too many more who had my number and called just to say, hey, nothing important, just calling. Well, to all of you who took this trip, please note that the ride is not over. The hill is almost climbed. Now we can get ready for the descent and more revelations of that beast that pretends it's not. Have a very pleasant and nice moment, because when this is over, the wheels will be spinning in the forward direction only. I have to admit that this, which I read, this letter I'm reading from Brett, was sent, maybe about a month and a half ago. And I'm very late reading this to you. I do apologize. I hope it gives you a good feeling of how he's doing it in jail. And I hope that each of you will get a pen and paper together and write him a letter and let him know how you feel. Thank you.
It's sad to think we're not gonna make it, and it's gotten to the point where we just can't fake it. Ooh, for some ungodly reason, we just won't let it die. I guess neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye. I keep wondering what I'm gonna